Theology from above is built on faith. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. We're in part number 3 of our 5-part series, Theology, true Bible-based theology. The Word of God, it can only come from above. And when it comes from above, it can only rest. It can only really abide in faith. Before we talk about that, I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Hitting that like button helps the video be found, and we appreciate you subscribing and passing it on to someone else. And by all means, go to our website. That's at changeministry.org. Theology from above. I know that might seem antithetical because true theology, the idea of theology is theo, God, ology, the study of God. However, there is a false god in this world. We know that to be Satan. And because of him, there are false gods in this world. So it's very logical to consider that we're going to get false theology. The difference between the two oftentimes is where they land. In John 4, verse 46 says, Jesus came again to Cana of Galilee, where he made the water wine, and there was a certain nobleman whose son was sick at Capernaum. And when he heard that Jesus was come out of Judea into Galilee, he went to him. He went to Jesus and besought him that he would come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. So now look at what Jesus says. Then said Jesus to him, except ye see signs and wonders, you will not believe. Now he's talking to this brother, but whenever Jesus is having an encounter with an individual, the Lord inspired that to be chronicled so that we could see that individual in our life, in our experience, that part of us, the part of us like this nobleman who will only believe if we see. God understands that. He's not offended in the way that we would think. The offense is really rooted in a disappointment. It's a missing out on the opportunity to build a relationship based on faith. Whereas if it's built on performance, not only do we think that that is what God does or what he has to do, he's got to put up something in order for me to put down faith. It'll kind of reverberate, and we actually would start thinking that, well, I've got to perform. I've got to do something in order for him to perform. It's confusion and it frustrates love. In fact, in Numbers 14, verse 11, the Lord said to Moses in this situation, how long will this people provoke me? How long will it be ere they believe me for all the signs which I have showed among them? Now, this is God on the other end of the spectrum saying, okay, I'm going to meet you where you are, and I'm going to do in order for you to believe. But then he's doing, and they're still not believing. It's showing us that there comes a point in a faith-based relationship, not a flesh-based relationship, where ultimately I have to step into that chasm or step into that gap and believe it because of who the person is and not because of what they're doing. With God, who will never change who he is, that's imperative. And with his joy, it's like the joy of a parent being loved by their child because they know daddy or mommy loves me, versus being loved by your child because of the stuff or the gifts that you give them. Because what is happening? If it's just because of the stuff and the gifts, you don't really love me. You're loving what you get from me. It's the stuff. It's the gifts. That's where you can have even the curse of prosperity. Because a true relationship, in John chapter 20, verse 29, is based on faith that works by love. Jesus saith unto Thomas, unto him, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. No one watching this video has seen Christ. None of us have seen God face to face, but we've seen his love. We've seen the fruits of a relationship with him. All of these things paint a picture to where we are able now to realize this is what he does for me. But what he is doing is showing me who he is. And that's what I love about him. That's what I love in him, not from him. Our relationship and true theology has to be based on a faith that operates on love versus a flesh that operates on lust or desire. Because at the end of the day, those desires will destroy us.